I'm Greg Hunter. Welcome to USAWatchdog.com. Today is the weekly news wrap up for Friday, the 21st of February, 2020, the WNW 420. And listen, overall, I want to tell you something. There's some good news here with all these demon Democrats. It's about revealing who they are, about revealing the truth. And then on top of that, we have a Democrat civil war. It's in full force, and it's going to get a lot worse in the Democrat Party before it gets any better whatsoever. Let's just look no further than the debates this week, where Michael Bloomberg, the president calls him Mini Mike, but forget about that. Just talk about the Democrats. Michael Bloomberg was on stage, and the other four candidates on stage with him, Klobuchar, the senator, Warren, Senator Sanders, Senator, and Buttigieg, small town mayor. It was like throwing a steak on stage with a pack of dogs. They were ripping him to pieces. Now, Bloomberg got a couple of blows back in. At one point, he was talking to Bernie Sanders saying, hey, it's communism. They all want to say it's democratic socialism. We're going to play the game. Let's call it what it is. Pro-choice, no, pro-abortion, affirmative action, preferential treatment, Democrat communism, Democrat socialism, communism. You can call it whatever you want. Communism, Nazism, New World Order, allies, Satanism. I don't know. Democratic socialism, like it's we're voting for this. Yeah, you're voting for it until they completely take over, and then boom, they take away your guns, the Constitution, your right to speak, your property, and everything else. That's what they do. That's what we're talking about here. And that's part of what's being revealed. I mean, early on, if you remember the Democrat debates, there was a couple of moderates there, Hickenlooper, out of Colorado, and a few other ones, but they didn't last long. What? Moderation? Buttigieg was going after Sanders about his Medicare for all. They were, pointed out he was $25 trillion short. But still, it's all about communism, socialism, the party of theft and bad ideas. And ideas where we can do some more theft so we can support our bad ideas. That's what's being revealed. Michael Bloomberg was at a meeting after, the day after the debate and said, hey, the big winner was Donald Trump. He's totally correct. And what these idiots in the Democrat Party don't realize is, Michael Bloomberg is worth reportedly at least $50 billion. You can add up all the other candidates' wealth combined, which are probably multimillionaires, and that's a rounding error to his fortune. And what are they doing? They're going after him. You said bad things to women. You haven't released your tax returns. Then you have Bloomberg coming back. Have any of you started a business? Have any of you ever started a business? And the answer is no. No. But they don't realize who they're dealing with, the other Democrats. And I'm not taking up Michael Bloomberg's side, but he made a couple of good points. But he is a totalitarian, a tyrannical. He wants sustainable tyranny. That's what we're talking about. Sustainable tyranny. That's why Bloomberg wants to take your guns. He's a big Second Amendment, anti-Second Amendment advocate because he wants to control you. You can't have rights and you can't have guns or your say, and you certainly don't have people armed. And, that'd be like in, 1861, arming all the slaves. Hey, boom, slavery over. Right? But he is going to buy out, and I don't mean a leverage buyout. I mean, he's just going to do an all-cash offer for the Democratic National Committee, kind of like what Hillary did. And when she bought it out, guess what happened? She became the person who was running against Donald Trump. She won the primaries. She got all the super delegates, the guys with all the money. And here we have, this is really just ramping up. All these other four people on stage are talking to the guy that I think he gave $140 million to the Democrat cause in 2018. I mean, he's given tens of millions of dollars, Bloomberg. They're attacking their future financier. I do think if he's serious, and he is, because he's a globalist, New World Order, satanic, telling people to kill their baby. No kidding. That was in a lawsuit. He's all part of the party of death and the party of theft. And he's going to end up controlling the Democratic National Committee because they're broke. What I've been telling you, they had to borrow $10 million in the middle of 2019. That's not a good, healthy party. Not a good, healthy situation to be in. You got to borrow money for political, campaigns, not get it donated to you. So we have this Dem Civil War, and the good thing about the Civil War, it's exposing all kinds of things. Remember back in the days of Project Veritas in 16, and even some in 2018, they were going to Heidi Heitkamp and other senators and revealing that what they really were saying about gun controls: we don't want you to have guns. We don't take all. You want to take all your guns. Claire McCaskill, same thing, caught on camera. We'll take you guns. Well, now they're on stage in the debates, saying we're going to take your guns. And it wasn't just Beto O'Rourke. They're all on stage. Raise your hand. Who wants to give free medical care to millions of illegal aliens? Who wants to have sanctuary cities? Who wants to take away your Second Amendment rights? Who wants to take away your First Amendment rights? Are you getting where this is going? The Democrats are revealing themselves. Also, it wasn't that long ago that if you would have talked about the deep state and the shadow government, you'd have said, "Oh, come on, that's the deep state, shadow government. That's not happening." Guess what's happening? President Trump has been revealing all these people. He's been revealing with legislation and press conferences about all the human trafficking, which Trump said this past week that was 70% is women and children. This week or the previous week, I think it was this week. 70% of the human trafficking, women and children. Sex slaves, people you abuse. These are the Democrats. Why do you think that border's open down there, down in the southern border, so they can import all the sex slaves they want? You take a look at what's been happening with China and all of our industry going over there. The Democrats were instrumental in that. Some of the biggest Democrats come from California. So Rhino Republicans are also involved in graft from China. Mitch McConnell's one, which is why I think he's playing ball with Donald Trump, because he doesn't want to go to jail. But I digress. This is all being revealed. The deep state, the shadow government, all being revealed. Here's another deep state judge. Here's Amy Berman Jackson sentences Roger Stone to 3 years, 4 months in prison, 40 months. $20,000 fine, still under a gag order. Jackson goes on a anti-Trump rant and AG Barr rant at the sentencing hearing. She instead of taking a look at the jury foreman, who was totally tainted and in the tank for the Democrat Party and all the ultra left-wing liberal crazy, and she was the foreman, she said, well, we're going to sentence him first. Well, Trump's talking, he's going to let it, quote, play out, as he said in a press conference on Thursday. But he's going to pardon him. It's totally unfair, which is talking about all of his pardons. The former governor Blagojevich, who was caught trying to auction off a Senate seat. It was Obama's Senate seat, okay? It was Obama's Senate seat. And just to let you know, hold on a minute. I just wanted to get this. And so Blagojevich, called him Blago, he didn't even really auction it off. But he got, 15 years in prison, federal prison? And so what Trump did was commute Blagojevich's, the former governor of Illinois. He commuted his sentence, let him out. He's no longer a Democrat. He's going to be working for Trump now. He's very popular still in the state of Illinois. A lot of people thought he got a bad deal. Of course he did. He was auctioning off the Senate seat of Barack Obama, and Obama was apparently in on it in some way, shape, or form. Remember, he wanted to depose Barack Obama. But here, look at this, a story on Gateway Pundit. Been 11 years, and deep state FBI still won't turn over transcript M302 of Barack Obama's Blagojevich interview. What are they hiding? Blagojevich wanted to bring in Barack Obama. He wanted to depose him. Oh, the people went crazy. And then we have former Illinois Governor Blagojevich was in prison by Mueller, Comey, deep state gang. President Trump's release of Blago, that's what they called him, Blago, sends a deep state message. Also revealed. What is Blagojevich going to reveal about Barack Obama? Was he involved in selling off his own Senate seat that we never found out about? Comey and Mueller and the gang there who ran this complete phony investigation, totally illegitimate investigation. It was fraud from the onset. It was illegitimately impaneled. They knew 2 days into it, 1 day into it, that there was no Mueller, there was no Trump collusion with the Russians. He wasn't an agent of the Russians, and yet this went on. Roger Stone was swept up in this. Lieutenant General Michael Flynn swept up in this. All crimes from an illegitimate fraud from the onset investigation. Tainted. Completely. And they want to make out like, Roger Stone and Flynn, and we have to sentence them, and we've prosecuted them like there was some sort of a real prosecution. Illegitimate fraud hoax, as the president says. And he's absolutely correct. More revealing. Here we have, you had the federal judges. They were going to meet in an emergency meeting and called that off. They were going to meet because of Roger Stone and the Attorney General saying, hey, whoa. They would have been put in jail for 9 years. Now they cut it down to 40 months. 40 months for a 70-year-old plus guy who was caught in an illegitimate fraud hoax of investigation? So Trump tweets out when he finds out that the judges are going to meet to see what they're going to do, and he tweets out and says, well, hey, I hope the Federal Judges Association will discuss the tremendous FISA court abuse that has taken place with respect to the Mueller investigation scam, including the forging of documents and knowingly using the fake and totally discredited dossier before the court. Thank you, federal judges. Stop. Who do these judges think they are? They're going to meet together to discuss what they can do to undermine the president. Excuse me? Desperate. Revealed. Like a revelation in the Bible. Except this is a mini revelation. The revelation of the evil of the deep state. The globalists, the Satanists, the party of death. The party wants to continue abusing children and women in human trafficking. Don't want to stop that. Listen, the Epstein case, Barr lost Epstein. We talked about this with the Kevin Shipp interview, but you know what Epstein revealed? There was a global network of pedophilia going on. There was a pedophile island. The former president Clinton was riding on the Lolita Express, the name of the airplane they called, and went to Pedophile Island, another name that was brought out in the press, Epstein's sex island. What was there? Well, who knows? But human trafficked women and children, for sure. Maybe little boys. Who knows what it is? Prince Andrew got caught up into this. Global. The Nexium sex scandal. That's another thing that came up. All the human trafficking at the border. They make more money on human trafficking women and children, the drug cartels, than they do with doing drugs. Revealed. Why are they trying to stop the president? They're wrecking their game. And they're desperate. The judges, they're not judges. They're a bunch of deep state loyalists. They're not there to administer objective justice. They were going to meet. Oh, wow, this all makes us look bad. And the president is tweeting it out to his 70 million Twitter followers, revealing. This is what people love about President Trump. And I say, listen, if you don't want to look at anything else, don't forget the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the USA Today, and all these legacy news outlets and all this other stuff. Even USA Today, listen, even USAWatchdog.com. Before you watch me, go to the president's Twitter page. You will learn vast amounts of stuff. All these commutation of sentence, that was Blago. He wasn't what do you call it? Pardoned. But still, he got let out of jail, 7 or 8 years early. Other people got pardoned. And there were a lot of Democrats involved. Like having his social justice reform, actual real reform, where they let people out of jail who got caught with a drug charge. These were black people. And now the black people are all chanting, "Go Donald Trump." One of them was let out in this latest pardon thing where he pardoned 11 people. And the guy, it was a black guy, he was met by his family and they were all chanting, "Go Donald Trump." And the Democrats know that they're losing the blacks. They've been, as Dr. Ben Carson said in his campaign, patting on the head and handing a cookie. "Oh, we'll give you an extra $1 an hour for minimum wage. Stay in line, and if you dare to think for yourself, we'll call you an Oreo and we will destroy you." Black people, that's what the Democrat Party is. The party of the Ku Klux Klan, the party of slavery, as Lincoln said, the party of theft. And then you have more revealing going on. You have the Washington Post, that scam of let's call it a propaganda paper, not really a newspaper because it's not the news when you're propaganda, but they're desperate, revealing who they are. They are revealing who they are. Deepak Chopra says when somebody shows you who they are, you should believe them. Well, here's the Washington Post. "It's time to give the elites a bigger say in choosing the president," was their Washington Post op-ed headline. They changed it. Oops. And, the democracy dies in the darkness. That's the bogus, phony, contrived slogan of the Washington Post, the scam slogan, total sham, scam, Washington Post slogan. Washington Post showing you who they are. "It's time to give the elites a bigger say in choosing the president." This was the paper of Watergate. Revealing, desperate, who they are. And whether it's the debates, where they're revealing who they are, whether it's Buttigieg or his family saying that everything he does is anti-Christ, Buttigieg's family, or it's Elizabeth, Hiawatha Pocahontas Warren, or if it's stand on the box Mini Mike, who's going to probably end up taking over the Democratic National Committee, a revelation is happening. And a battle is ensuing in the Democrat Party. I can't imagine them allowing Bernie Sanders to get the nomination. And this I have no prediction for. I have no idea. He's leading, but I have no idea if he's going to get the nomination or not. They have 800 super delegates, big money people. That's what the Democrats have that. You would think the Republicans have super delegates because if they did, Donald Trump would have never gotten the nomination. But the Democrats have big money donor super delegates. Who do you think Mini Mike Bloomberg knows? He's the guy with the news network, 2,700 journalists around the world, where you can't say anything about Democrats. You can trash Donald Trump all you want. That's a news network? Right. David Weston, my old boss at ABC News, is an anchor on Bloomberg. David Weston, how can you do that? You're not a newsman anymore. You're just banging a paycheck out of Michael Bloomberg. You're not protesting that you can't say a word about any of the candidates, any of the Democrats in criticism or praise or anything else, but you can trash Donald Trump because you're not going to praise him. You can trash Donald Trump all you want? Really? It's unbelievable, folks. But it's good news because everybody's getting to see who they are. The Democrats are losing blacks. They're losing Hispanics. They're losing Asians. They're losing independents. They're losing women because people are seeing who they are and they're going, this is nuts. This is cray. And if you take a look what's going on out in Las Vegas, which is where they just were and with their debates and all that, you see the bookies, the blue line, and this goes back to, let me get my glasses on here. This goes back to March of 2019. This is where they started. Oh, the Democrats are going to win. Oh, they're going to win big. Oh, the Republicans are going to do bad. They're going to do bad. We're bad here. Bad. And here's the way it's gone. As the crazy has gone on, the Democrat Party has gone down. This is the bookies. This is Las Vegas. This is their handicapping who's going to win the White House. The blue lines, the Democrats, the red lines of the GOP and Donald Trump. And who's going to win? And here we are now. Boing! 58% chance the GOP and Trump will win, and 43% the Democrats. I mean, look at that chart. Hi, we're crazy, crazy, cuckoo, crazy, crazy, Medicare for all, crazy, crazy, spend money, more taxes, First Amendment, destroy it, Second Amendment, destroy it, we're crazy, 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 healthcare for illegals, crazy, crazy. There you go, boys and girls. That's what the bookies think. I love showing stuff on a chart. And then you look at this, and I'm going to go back here. I want to get in the Wayback Machine. You know, because Tulsi Gabbard thinks this is a great deal, you know, the Iran nuclear deal. That idiot Gabbard. I don't like her. I'm sorry. She's pretty. I don't have anything personal against her. I'm talking about I don't like her policies. She's probably fine. She's probably a good person to drink a beer with. But in terms of liking her policies, I think they're dangerous, and I think they're stupid, and I think they're anti-American. Thank you, Tulsi Gabbard, for wearing a uniform. I don't discredit you for that, but I tell you what, I do take offense that you're using that a uniform to make yourself out to be a super patriot when you are not. You are a super communist. And the communism and the Constitution don't work. And that's really what the whole Democratic Party has become. And thank goodness they've revealed themselves. But here's it. Remember this? State Department never signed nuclear deal. This is still online today, folks. And you can see the letter that was written by Julia Freifeld to Mike Pompeo, who was a congressman at the time. Never signed nuclear deal. It's not legally binding as it tells Congress to butt out of Obama's political commitments. Oh, I'm going to get to this in a minute. Why am I bringing this up? Okay, so, and then we have, this is the dailymail.com. It's 11/25/15. Look it up for yourself. Letter from Kerry State Department to Congressman Mike Pompeo. He's now the Secretary of State. He was the head of the CIA for a while, too. This is what Julia Freifeld said. Not a treaty or an executive agreement and is not a signed document. You can read the letter from the Kerry State Department yourself. She was the Assistant Legislative Affairs. She was Assistant Secretary of Legislative Affairs at the State Department. Not a treaty or an executive agreement and is not a signed document. It's a fraud. And then let's fast forward to this. Remember this guy? H.J. Ansari, Zarif's senior advisor in the Iranian government. If he's still on Twitter today, if Europeans stop trading with Iran and don't put pressure on the U.S., then we will reveal which Western politicians and how much money they received during the nuclear negotiations to make the Iran deal happen. Hello. Did you get this right here? This happened in 2018, May 8, 2018. This guy's Twitter account. I think the tweet has been taken down. This is what he said. We will reveal which Western politicians and how much money they had received during the nuclear negotiations to make the Iran deal happen. Oh, you mean like a kickback? You mean like what's been going on in Ukraine? Well, you fire the people looking into my son, says Joe Biden, or you won't get your $1 billion. Because they got kickbacks. So do you think anybody, any of the Democrats got kickbacks in the United States of America? Do you think the Democrat Party, any of the Democrats got kickbacks for supporting an unsigned fraud deal where they sent billions of dollars on C-130s to Tehran, the John Kerry State Department, the Obama State Department, designated #1 sponsor of terror. Do you think anybody got a kickback? You know, like what's going on in Ukraine and many other places. China, Hunter Biden got $1.5 billion. This is what we know about, folks. For nothing or something. And then you got Democrat senator held secret meeting in Munich with Iranian Foreign Minister Zarif. Oh, what? Excuse me? This happened last week. Excuse me. Democrat senators plural, holding a secret meeting with the Iranian foreign minister who just blew up a U.S. base where 100 of our soldiers have some sort of brain problems. You mean the Iranians, where we just killed their top general, Donald Trump? You mean, oh, excuse me? Democrat senator held secret meeting in Munich with Iranian foreign minister Chris Murphy of Connecticut and other Democrat senators had a secret meeting with Iranian foreign minister Mohammad Javad Zarif during the Munich Security Conference last week, according to a source. Murphy's office did not respond to repeated requests for comment at press time. You know what the Logan Act is, folks? Well, John Kerry did this same thing, and he's on this week going, well, I was just trying to get some, to keep understanding things. And he's in Iran. He was the one that was one of the main people behind it. Of course, in Congress, he sat down and said, I don't know all what's in it. Really? You think that they all got kickbacks and bribes in some way? I don't know that for a fact, but that's what the Iranian top advisor to Zarif, the guy they just met, said on Twitter, on the global Twitter record. That Chris Murphy got involved in, I think it may be a much more than undermining foreign policy, Logan Act based. You can't be negotiating things for America when you are not in the executive branch. Democrat or Republican. You can go on a fact-finding secret. This is secret. The number one state sponsor of terror, the country that continues to attack American service people in the Middle East. Way to go, Chris Murphy. Way to go. What in the world would they be talking about? Trying to calm the Iranians down because the deal went sideways and they all got paid. And the Iranians didn't really get totally everything they were supposed to get, and that the Donald Trump is still pushing Iran's maximum pressure, destroying their economy with maximum sanctions and pressure. And Chris Murphy's meeting with the foreign minister Zarif, the same as Secretary of State, basically. Really? Revealed, folks. The treasonous, seditious weasels in the Democrat Party revealed. They want to destroy America. They want to destroy you. And this includes Democrats, independents, blacks, Latinos, whites, Asians. They want to destroy anybody that won't kowtow to their New World Order, globalist, one party, one view, all the money at the very, very top view. That's what is being revealed. And then on top of it, as this clown show, freak show revealing is going on, they're lying about the coronavirus. We finally had on Thursday, 300 points down. Of course, the plunge protection team, that's a real thing. They were probably involved in driving it back up, so you didn't have 300-point loss. You had 100-and-something point loss. All of a sudden they're buying a couple of days earlier this week, the FANG stocks are taking off. And then you have Janet Yellen being quoted as saying, in the next recession, we should buy stocks. Hey, Janet, I think they're already doing it. Along with pumping out $60 billion a month, which the financial television and news services won't mention. That's happening, folks. You can read it on the Federal Reserve website. And also that the repo market, they're going crazy, which they're still trying to get out of, as they keep saying, because they don't want to see, as Martin Armstrong says, a daisy chain of defaults around the world. And then this was all going on before the meltdown financially of China and their industrial sector, where they're not exporting anything at this point, or hardly anything. And then you have this come on, and bam, China's like one of the stories that was this past week. Good news, China's bailing out all their airlines. Boy, that didn't last. They couldn't stand up to much. I was watching Bloomberg this week, and the guy says, "Oh no, I think stocks could go higher." Well, what do you think's going on? Stop, edit. And I'm thinking, well, he's going to talk about how good things are, and the economy's pretty good, and they got good prospects, and commodities are down a bit, which adds to the bottom line, and they think that they can ramp up sales or whatever. Nope, back up. The guy says, nope. Well, central banks are going to continue to liquefy the market, and they're going to. We're looking for a couple of more rate cuts now to go down. And that's going to support the market really well. More money printing and easy money and interest rates? Really? That's going to do it all. That's going to replace the goods that aren't going to be showing up at the Port of Long Beach. Really? I'm warning you. This is a real deal. And then we have this. Here's just an everyday. I'm not going to hold up all the headlines. I'm not. But here's one just from this week. Coronavirus deals major blow to German car factories in China. Outbreak threatens to halve February car sales in the world's largest auto market. That's not just German. That's Hyundai. That's Honda. That's GM. That's Ford. That's Nissan. That's Fiat. That's everybody, folks. And that's just the car sales. And then you have this with which I think is absolutely outrageous. And what you had Michael Pinto on, and he said, "Listen, they can't even give guidance. Not just we'll be down a couple of percent. They can't give guidance. Here we have the Apple. This is the stuff you can quote. I don't know how bad it's going to be if there's 2,000 or 250,000 dead, or I think it's probably a lot worse than what China's saying because they've employed a bunch of trolls, 1,600, to tamp down any bad information on the internet. But here we have the situation is evolving. That's clever. It's evolving. Apple cuts guidance due to virus disruption. So are many other companies. They're cutting guidance. They're saying that, okay, we don't know what's going to be. And then you have the 1 month treasury at the 1 month. Hey, I can put my money away for 1.6%. Great. Well, how about for 2 months? Well, 1.60%. How about 3 months? 1.59%. How about 10 years? 1.52%. Wait a minute. For 1 month, it's 1.61%. For 10 years, it's 1.52%. Are you getting that? You see what the yield curve is doing? It's inverting. It's inverting. It should be going up. The longer you go, the more it should go up. It's everting. Short-term money is getting more money, even though it's a few, hundreds of a percent, more than 10-year treasuries. People are piling into the 10-year treasuries because they're afraid. And if you look at what happened on Thursday with the FANG stocks, this is Microsoft and Amazon, Facebook, let's see, who all is it? Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Facebook. This is what these guys are. Just look at the pattern here, though. Just look at the pattern. Everybody, boom, 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 boom. Right? Now that doesn't mean these people are going to go out of business. I mean, some of these stocks are hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars a share, but still, all of a sudden, some neurons touch together. And, oh my gosh, sell. That's probably the robots. That's robot trading, right? Oh yeah, and what could go wrong with robots trading? Right? Logarithms. What could go wrong? That's like asking yourself, what could go wrong with doing business in China, a totalitarian a country that persecutes Christians, that has death camps, harvests the organs of dissidents, has death camps. I'm sorry, concentration camps, and has social credit scoring. You have no rights whatsoever. Your God is the red Chinese government. And what could go wrong over there? Oh, and Xi Jinping's the dictator for life. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? And so you take a look at what's going on with gold. Here is gold recently. This is when the coronavirus, boing. It's, $1,600 plus an ounce. I talked to Bull Pony about this. He said Bitcoin and gold are going to go up. He says harder to call the stock market because they're printing so much money at the People's Bank of China and the Bank of Japan and the Federal Reserve and the European Central, just pump, until the body completely dies and they just keep pumping and nothing happens, right? But I talked to congratulated Bo Pony on his call. He said when last time he was on, Bitcoin and gold and silver are going to go up. He says silver is the still deal precious metal. This is according to Bo Pony and other people. Same thing. David Morgan had him on recently. He says, "Oh my gosh, mining cost." Who's an expert, David Morgan? $14, $15 an ounce, and it's at 18 and change. I mean, you could still buy an ounce of silver and a U.S. Eagle for $20 and change. I mean, it's 17 for the longest time. It was 16 and 17. You could buy it for $20 or less an ounce. That's going to be the deal. People are going to look back on this, and if you take a look at gold, wow, it's up, almost $300 in the last year. Silver's up a couple of bucks, maybe buck and a half. Whatever, still a deal. I think the silver gold ratio is somewhere at 90, almost 100. 90. I mean, it's 1,600 and change for an ounce of gold and 18 something for an ounce of silver. So what is that, about 90 to 1, 88 to 1? I don't know, something like that. It's out of whack. It should be 15 to 1. Comes out of the ground at about 10 to 1. So, I don't sell precious metals, and I don't say, put everything into silver, but you should have some. And you should hold it as a core asset. Same thing with gold. Core. Not something you have to sell out of, and get rid of. But if you look at the chart, I mean, this is what's happening. Treasury yields are sinking because people are piling money into it. Bitcoin is on its way up. Gold, this was gold since the coronavirus. It's COVID-19 coronavirus, Wuhan, whatever you want to call it. And people are freaking out, and they're seeing the money printing. And listen, big money is seeing the money printing. I called Melody Cedarstrom the day gold was up, I think it was Wednesday, $22. And I said, "Hey, what's going on? Is your phone ringing off the hook?" She says, she's my sponsor, Discount Gold and Silver Trading, Melody Cedarstrom. And she doesn't, I'm not paid to do this. I'm just telling you a story. I said, just to get some street, intel, street reporting. I said, "Is your phone ringing off the hook with gold going up to $22? She says, "Well, one guy who I haven't talked to for 10 years just, got excited, but no, not really fantastic, no." And she said, "That's big money buying gold." I said, "Really?" She says, "Oh yeah, $22 an ounce, and my phones are, fairly quiet." And she said, "But that's big money buying gold." And he says, "The little investor's always late to the party, always last one to the party." So I was thinking, So, but big money, no doubt about it, is buying gold. That doesn't mean gold can't sell off. Actually, Bo Pony said, "Listen, you might get a little sell-off here in the next week or so, but gold in April and silver and Bitcoin, all that's going up, and they're going to keep printing money to prop all this up." I've really gone long today, folks, but I wanted to, kind of get all this in. And to sum it all up, listen, Dem Civil War, and that helps with the great revealing of what the Democrat Party really is. Michael Bloomberg, "Well, if you're 95 years old, we're just going to tell you go away, and you had a nice life, but the party of theft, the party of death, the party of taxes, the party of sustainable tyranny. That's what we're seeing revealed all the way down to the street level. That's a good thing. Thank you very much for supporting USAWatchdog.com with your comments and your donations. That helps us out. I still get a variety of demonetizations, where they demonetize or not fully monetize, and they put 5-minute commercials instead of a 20-second non-skippable ad, which is where you make your money. The first commercial is the most important. So I'm not going to complain. I'm going to stay on YouTube as long as I can. I've been trying other players. I'll probably have some more experiments, but right now, I'm living with whatever I got. I am getting some monetization from YouTube and AdSense, and I do have one sponsor, Discount Gold and Silver Trading. But thank you very much for your comments and your donations. That does help me out. And remember, fear not. Prepare yourself mentally, physically, above all spiritually. Fear not. God the Father and His Son, Jesus Christ, are firmly in control. Listen, evil wants you afraid. Don't be. There's a scene in one of the Rocky movies where he was fighting Dolph Lundgren. "I will break you." And around the 6th round, he stuck his glove up, ding, and Rocky stuck his glove up in the face of Dolph and said, "You're not so tough. The deep state's not so tough. They don't want to come out and freak out. They don't want to reveal themselves. They're freaking out. They do better work when they're behind the curtains, and you think they're fake. We now know they're real. We now know the trafficking is real. The fraud is real. The kickbacks are real. The idea that they want tyrannical, sustainable, tyrannical control, that is real. That's real. They can't stop a virus, but if they raise your taxes, they can stop global warming. Right. It was a cartoon I saw, or actually a funny meme. But anyway, listen, thank you so much for supporting USAWatchdog.com. I went way long today. I hope you enjoyed it. But I just wanted to get all this out. This is good news, folks. The revealing of this evil is good news. Fear not. Thank you for supporting USAWatchdog.com.